intense episode of the Lowlife podcast. We got an interview with Jay over at Souls Customz, but first, we got a little light housekeeping to get into. We got a show coming up. Well, not a show, a swap. We just came from a swap. We came from the La Spada Easy Coast swap meet. It was fucking awesome. I bought more than I sold, but good time. Good parts. There was nothing there. Every single table was just like badass chopper parts. Had a fucking good time there. Alex came with his humongous chair. That's going to be a mainstay at if you're in New England and you go to any of our shows, you're going to see this gigantic blue lawn chair that he bought from some old lady for like $20. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, dude, it was fucking awesome. Swap was awesome. We have a swap coming up mid-February, day after Valentine's Day. Remember that. I know you're not going to forget Valentine's Day. February 15th, it's going to be at the Harley-Davidson interim location. Oh, fuck. I don't have I think it's Bouchard Street or some shit. We'll throw up the flyers. You've seen it. It's free to vend, free to attend. You have nothing to lose. You got some fucking shit parts you want to get rid of? Set up. This place is like, from what I understand, is infinitely big. We're going to go hit them up. I actually haven't been to the location yet. So me and Dan are maybe next week or this week, we're going to head over there and just see. Like, we don't know. We got a lot of dudes actually hitting us up. Like, how big are the vendor spots? I have no fucking clue. But I will have a fucking clue once I go there and we can see the actual space. And we have a full list of vendors. So more information will be forthcoming. But again, we got about a month to go. It's the Lowlife Snow Life swap meet, February 15th at Harley-Davidson, Manchester. I believe it's 1 Bouchard Street. I don't know. Don't take my word for that. I'm fucking retarded. Anyways, so I think that's housekeeping, bro. Let's get into this motherfucking interview with Jay from Souls Customz. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is where I'm at. Yeah, that's we're both like right in the heart of it. We're pretty cool. It was really awesome of him to like hook this up for me. He just randomly came over and was looking at this thing and was like, "You ever done a podcast?" And I'm like, "No." I listened to them, but never done one. And he just got this all together for us. And it's really glad to be here, man. I listen to everything and really cool show.
I guess how did you meet Josh?
Pittsburgh's like the biggest small town in the world. So everybody kind of knows everybody through somebody. And really, like, I liked what he was doing on Facebook, and I messaged him, and I was like, "Hey, cool stuff. You ever need anything?" And just kind of went from there. He hit me up to use my sandblaster. That's how we got cool.
Are you from Philadelphia or yeah,
No, I'm actually from Phoenix, Arizona, and I used to do tattoos. Everybody always asks me, like, how the fuck did you end up in Pittsburgh? Why would you come here? And it's not really like I chose to come here. It's just kind of where I ended up. But I did tattoos for a living, and literally everything I own fit on the back of my chopper. And I would kind of just like meander around the country going wherever the fuck I wanted to go, and came here to visit and got a girl pregnant, and I'm 18 to life in Pittsburgh. So
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
That'll put down some roots, right? Just fucking just passing by, and then yeah,
child sport, But
That's awesome.
Happen, honestly.
So you were just kind of like wandering around, like fucking like a one of those shopping bags in the wind. You just fucking go from town to town, do whatever the fuck you wanted for a while. Said you packed everything on your chopper. You're just fucking.
Yeah, so I had like a sporty chop that I got out in California and built out there. Um, and like literally, if it didn't fit on my bike, I didn't own it. You know, I had my space for tattoo equipment, clothes, some like very small amount of cooking stuff. I went fishing, you know, whenever I felt like it, caught fish, cooked it. I spent 10 years that way. You know, I slept on people's couches, you know, that I'd meet at like was working at or whatever. And then yeah, never really planted roots till I got here. I didn't even own a car until I was like 26 or 27 or something.
I didn't own a car until, well, I had one up until I was 17, got a DWI, and then I didn't get a car again until I was 26 because they revoked my license indefinitely. Um, but it saved me. It saved me definitely.
I think the only car I had was a 90s gold Kia Sophia that I got shit faced drunk and like rolled down a hill in San Diego and then just like ran away and left it there and never looked back. So yeah.
Uh, Tell us the story. How'd you get into bikes initially? Like, was it like through family members, or did you just kind of like find it and latch onto it early in life? Or
Like when my mom got with my stepdad, he restored classic cars. And you know, he would have me out there with him every day after school, every weekend. You know, if we weren't like working on the car, we'd be going to car shows. So I was like really into that whole scene, you know. And one day he bought me a mini bike, and like that's what did me in, you know, is I got addicted to two wheels. And because I was a young kid and I was like trying to hop up this Briggs and Stratton motor to try to go faster on something that barely even had a brake, you know. So uh yeah, I learned a lot of what I know now from then, but I think that's what did it, you know, that
you, when you got that mini bike, how old were you? About?
probably like 9.
Things are fun as fuck. I didn't get a mini bike until like probably like 4 years ago, and they're the shit.
I think it was like 2 horsepower or something. It was tiny, but I figured I worked with my stepdad, like restoring houses and, you know, landscaping and whatever the heck I had to do to make any kind of money during the summer. And I spent my money on like, I think it was a 15 horsepower motor and motor swap that thing. And like, uh, actually remember getting in trouble for going God knows fast past my house and my mom seeing me like screaming down this dirt road in Laveen, Arizona. That's where I'm from. And yeah, I wasn't allowed to ride it much after that, but I still did.
Levine, never even heard of that.
That's like real close to bum fuck in Egypt over in Arizona. It's like my house was literally walking distance from the Indian reservation. We had a casino that I like stole hubcaps off of cars from like across the street.
Deep out there.
Um, it would be close to Luke Air Force Base. No idea
Like
where that is. Like way.
don't no. I did. There's a lot of like I lived in Phoenix for some time, and when you did venture out, it was like you were going to Vegas, you were going to Mexico. You drive through all sorts of fucking weird little places, and you didn't really take note of the name. Like you'd be driving along, and there'd just be like a trailer like in the desert, and you're like, hey, I haven't seen a fucking gas station for 120 miles, dude. Like there is nothing out there.
I miss it quite a lot because like the climate here is so drastically different, but not for that reason. For how easy it was to just get lost on a bike and end up on some crazy adventure that you could have a story for a lifetime. Take one wrong turn and you end up in some town you can't even pronounce the name, or it's got a name like Devil's Asshole or whatever.
250cc scooter. So I put some miles down on that fucking thing. It is pretty cool. But yeah, you could just fucking. I mean, I loved riding year round, and I dude, you could take that thing went fucking 60 miles an hour. I'd take it on the highway and shit. Yeah, but I regret not. Actually, it was funny because they have an MMI out there in Phoenix, and I had a bunch of buddies that were into bikes, like heavy, and I was like, I used to roll with them on my scooter. They didn't give a fuck because one of them had a sport bike, the other guy was like an old Harley guy with my fucking gay ass red scooter. But yeah, dude, it was fun just cruising around out there because you could just get on a road and fucking go, and it's flat, and it's straight, and it's dry, and it's warm, and it does suck in the summertime because it gets so fucking hot. But yeah, dude, Arizona's awesome. It's actually a really good location, like in the United States, because it's proximity to all these different like Vegas, California, Mexico, Grand Canyon, obviously, shit like that. But yeah, it's weird. I always wonder how people like end up out in the middle of nowhere there. Like, how do you even end up in Laverne, fucking Arizona? Do you grow up out there and start a family?
Sisters they live in a town called Bisbee, Arizona, that is like really close to the border of Mexico. And the only thing that town is known for is like 200 years ago or whatever, there used to be the biggest copper mine on the planet, like hand dug, you know, and
That's fucking nuts. Dude, hand dug, like dudes with shovels and shit.
you can drive right by it. It's coolest fucking thing.
Like they're like, yeah, there's a bunch of copper we think underneath us, and we're gonna need you to start digging. Dude, I dug a trench like to put some shit pipe in. It took me like a week. Like I don't know how motherfuckers are digging mines with shovels, dude.
Nope. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. People, that town is crazy because you can like look up the history of it, and like people were just like killing each other left and right. And the way they built the town was like after the mine was dug out. So they just like it stepped all the way down to the bottom. And then they moved a location close to that to start digging further down.
Imagine getting a job and you're like, I'm gonna dig for fucking copper, and you move your whole family there, and then there's nothing else. And dude, back in the day too, it's not like you could get in your car and there was like interstates and shit. Like it was fucking hard to get out there, and you're just like, I'm gonna be a copper miner. This is my life now. Fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's like an hour south of Tombstone. So yeah, like that shit takes like 75 miles an hour from Phoenix down there. It takes like 6 hours. So I can only imagine what it was like. And I mean, I kind of love the idea of it, like the Wild West cowboy stuff, but I can only imagine what it was like trying to go from one city to another and then getting there and it just being like not great.
Um, so all right, so you were just bumming around. You got into mini bikes first. What was like your first real bike, like road bike?
So I got a 1981 Yamaha SR250 that was light enough that at the time at like 17 I could pick the thing up to my chest. And I hopped on that thing and went all the way to San Francisco. It like legit downhill speed was 70 miles an hour and weighed absolutely nothing. And I'm like trying to go cross country with the thing. It was King Queen single cylinder thumper. Um, not so great of a bike, but I loved it.
You might be tall. I can't tell if it's just the camera angle.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, I loved the adventure part of it, but the whole time, like every time a semi passed me, like it would blow me from one side of the road to the other, or try and suck me back in. It wasn't a roadworthy bike. Like cruising around town, sure, great, but I bought the thing, didn't have any money, you know.
San Francisco, why you're going just because it's San Francisco? Going to get a treat?
It was where I ran out of money. I bought that bike and I had enough money. I was working for a fucking hot dog stand actually in Bisbee, Arizona. And all I did there was polish their 1950s trailer day in and day out until that thing shined like a mirror. And I just saved all my money to buy that bike and, just go.
Okay. What kind of did you guys have like specialty dogs, or is it just like fucking regular shit?
Dogs. They had some like crazy, like weird stuff, and they would give them to me. I got sick of them. I didn't want them after like the first couple days, but dude, oh man, I don't know. They had the weirdest one I know is like an ice cream hot dog. It came with like ice cream and sprinkles and chocolate syrup on it, and I thought that was fucking disgusting, personally.
Disgusting. Ice cream hot dog is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, the perfect crime. Yeah, but I don't know. That place was popular. All they did is fucking hot dogs. That's it. It's probably no. All I did the entire time I worked there was fucking polish that trailer.
Or was there someone else manning the hot dog stand and you were just polishing?
They bought that trailer and then like restored it, put a little hot dog stand inside of it. But mostly they just sold the hot dogs like out of the building it was next to. But I guess they were like, oh, we'll just make it easy for people so they can just, if they want a hot dog, walk up to this trailer, get a hot dog, and then drive off.
I had aspirations of making a hot dog stand. I think it's a cool little side hustle. I love hot dogs, but I ain't putting fucking ice cream on them.
Yeah, I had a lot of really odd jobs over the years. But that one's definitely like way at the top of the list.
Jobs, what other odd jobs are you talking about?
Like seasonal farming was one of them. I was a truck driver. I was a heavy equipment mechanic. I worked on school buses for a short time. All kind of stuff. Whenever I wasn't like really doing great at tattooing money wise, I would go get some random fucking job to kind of like learn some random skill. That's honestly how I think I learned most of the stuff that I know now to do what I do now. Random odd job. Well, I had like most of my arm done from like here to here at like 14. And a buddy of mine we called him Claypool, was doing it, and I was like, I could fucking do that because he was making like a killing, and I was like, I could fucking do that, and I just did it, and I was pretty good, but not like these artists now. You know, like I just did like neo traditional, old school tattoos, like walk in street stuff. You know, and yeah,
I mean, everybody's always wants a tattoo. You can trade for shit. Do you still do like a little bit of tattooing on the side, or is it just? I mean, do you have a setup?
have the stuff, but I am so fucking busy running this company and trying to grow and making things happen. Like I've got so many fucking irons in the fire doing what I'm doing now. Like every once in a while somebody will hit me up, but I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do it. Retired.
And yeah, that's good. Did you didn't do like a traditional apprenticeship? You just been kind of learned, and then you can just do it whenever you want. But did you ever have a shop or anything?
No, I just kind of figured it out. You know what I mean? I mean, it was really difficult. Like the first couple years, like really were really hard to fucking learn. But like, I mean, I was always drawing and doing some sort of art, so it kind of came natural once I figured out the machines.
Uh, tattooers nowadays they have these like crazy machines. They're like wireless and stuff. I don't even know how they work. But did you learn on a traditional like tattoo gun?
I was loyal to the coil, man. I didn't want to use any kind of fucking electronic rotary machine, none of it. I was just like old school all the way. I still am, I think, with bikes even.
I see these dudes that they have like Bluetooth foot pedals and shit.
Yeah, the technology is like so like even in the last 10 years, like I look at these tattooers now and I have no fucking clue how I would even attempt to do what they're doing with just the technology and like needles, you know, and sterilization and like power supplies and everything like has boomed so crazy over the last 10 years. Like I couldn't even fucking keep up. I would have no idea. You know, I commend the people. There's some great fucking artists out there. Like good for them, you know.
Definitely like you know, if you have all this like sweet technology, like dude, a fucking Bluetooth fucking like foot pedal and shit. I mean, maybe that was some fake news. I don't know, but I saw it online somewhere. Never seen one in real life. But the shit that these kids are putting out that they put out is like they're really talented. When I was getting tattoos, everybody sucked. Nobody could draw. Yeah, these kids, they're coming up, dude. Some kids like I'll go to like I don't anymore because I'm bald, but I used to go to the barber and every single motherfucker, dude, they're like 21 years old, beautiful tattoos all the way down, like hands up to the neck, like every single one is beautiful, and I'm just like, how the fuck did you pull that off? You know?
By the time I ran into anybody that was like really good at tattooing, I was already mostly covered. You know, I've got some really good pieces, but I don't know, probably 80% of what I have is like whatever, you know. Oh yeah, definitely. This whole fucking leg, man. I was sitting there, you know, drawing on my fucking leg to figure it out, and that's how I like figured out most of what I knew because I couldn't, you know, I didn't feel comfortable tattooing somebody right out of the gate until I was like, you know, this whole fucking leg was done.
You gotta do a bunch of shitty ones on yourself first, and then your friends.
Pay your dues.
So you got into bikes. You wandered around. You went. What did you end up doing in San Francisco? Like once you got there, were you just like, let's set up shop?
Went to the beach and was like, oh, this is cool. And then I was like, all right, well, let's just turn around and go home now. Nothing exciting.
Up on the East Coast, like what was that trip all about?
So my mom moved here like, I don't know, probably 15 something years ago now. And I kind of was like, well, I'll go out that way. I'll pay her a visit. And that was the reason I came into town, I suppose. And then it got cold, and so I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And then I just, back and forth.
You had a kid, and you're like, all right, time to get an apartment. And did you get did you?
So for the first 2 years, I was so stubborn. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ride in the winter. How cold can it fucking be? You know what I mean? But meantime, like 40 degrees rolled around the first year, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is the coldest I've ever been. And then that wasn't even the half of it. That first year it got down to like negative 20 degrees. And, you know, so I didn't ride a lot, but I still did. And then the second year I rode, I got hit by a fucking truck in February, I think it was. And, yeah, then I was like, okay, I'm getting a car.
Happened there?
There's a company here in Pittsburgh, Galise Plumbing. Fuck them. Um, but one of their drivers was on their cell phone at the West End, and that's how you get on the freeway. And I was getting onto the freeway. Traffic stopped in front of me. I stopped, and then the guy in the truck behind me hit me at 40 miles an hour. And I remember looking in my mirror and saying, fuck. And I shut my eyes. And then I woke up underneath the truck with the guy trying to back up off of me. And I said, oh, fuck. And so I couldn't move my legs. I had to fucking crawl out from under it to the side of the road. And then, people figured out what the hell was going on and all ran out to me and were like, don't get up, don't get up. And I remember looking at my fucking bike and like writhing in pain, because I just got hit by a truck, literally. And, I said to myself, if I can get up, then I'm okay. So I did, and I stood up, and I thought I was fine, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's fine," and started walking away. And like I saw the dude, and he was still on his fucking phone, so I got like really fucking mad. I was gonna like beat the shit out of this guy, and then the cops got there, and I had my piece on me, and you know what I mean. I was like, all right, whatever, and I'll just go to the hospital then. But I was so mad. Like the dude was like still in the fucking road. I had to grab my bike, pull it off, and drag it off the side of the road, which I think I still have pictures of somewhere. It literally bent the seat that I was sitting on in half. It was crazy. But from the recollection of others in that and the police report, the guy hit me at about 40 miles an hour, and the truck picked up on my back tire, ramped up over the top of me, crushed me into my gas tank, bent the handlebars forward on my shoulders, and then somehow I like flipped around and went underneath it. It was yeah.
Holy shit, dude! So 40 miles an hour getting rear-ended from you're at a dead stop. So you look in your mirror and you're like, this motherfucker's not stopping.
It's like fuck. you know? Uh yeah, I think it was like a Chevy 2500 with the service body. So it's no little truck. I'm really lucky to be alive. Yeah. So the only thing that I thought was wrong was I thought that I just had a scrape on my back, but we went to the hospital. They did a bunch. Side note: I've never been manhandled before at this point in my life. I forget how old I was, but a male nurse literally cut my clothes off of me with scissors, and I was like, mortified by that and trying to make light of it. Like, hey, can a female nurse do this? But they did all the X-rays, and they're like, all right, yeah, you're fine. And then they called me, like 3 days later, like, hey, you need to come back to the hospital. I'm like, why? And they're like, we accidentally mixed up one of your X-rays, and your back is broken. I'm like, what? My fucking third thoracic vertebrae, from the impact, the base of it actually shattered and broke pieces off of the base of my spine in between the vertebrae. Yeah, it was fucked up. But I never felt. I mean, I was like bruised up and hurt from like being hit by a truck, but I didn't really feel like a lot of pain from having a fucking spinal injury. Oh yeah, I forgot the base of my skull. They said was cracked as well from like the backward whiplash.
Mixed up your fucking chart or some shit for 3 fucking days like that. That's fucking insane.
It was a lot, but I'm really glad to be here still.
I'm in money.
Oh yeah, and I fucking blew every penny of it on shit I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? That I chased every white line in the county, searched at the bottom of like every fucking bottle, and ran amok.
So you partied it all the way. I thought you were
No, I did do some smart things with it, but I was a lesser of an individual than I am now. I'm actually sober now, and I gave up all the partying and all that stuff, to make a better life for me and my kid. But I did buy a small amount of property locally. I bought I bought a 1986 Chevy Square Body. I put a Cummins engine in it, and then I built it up to about right now it's about 1,600 horsepower. Yeah, so I've still got that, and I've still got the property, but that's the only thing I have to show for being hit by a truck. And that shit just I think it's probably like 8 years now. Yeah, it was a while.
You've been sober for.
I had one fuck up 2 years ago, but it would have been like 7 years. Yeah.
Like what? Was there like one thing that made you go, I gotta fucking clean up my shit? Like, did you have like one of those nights, or was it just like a realization?
I had a lot of those nights that, you know what I mean? Like bikers and parties, you know how they go. And, I was a tattoo artist. I rode fucking motorcycles. Everybody wanted to hang out. And I don't know, I was just like a magnet for stuff I shouldn't have been doing.
Year's resolutions not to drink alone anymore. So I figure this is not drinking alone. So
Well, cheers, man.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking gnarly. That. How much money did you get from the plumbing business though? Like, was it a suit or was it like a settlement? Or you don't have to say if you don't want to, but I'm just.
I don't want to say the exact amount, but it had 3 digits at the end.
That's crazy. Was it a settlement though, or was it just like an insurance thing, or how does that work if someone drills you?
So like I fucked up, and I what I should have done is contacted a lawyer, because I could have got, millions out of that settlement. But I ended up settling with the insurance company directly instead of going to court.
Okay. No shit.
Probably hindsight, the worst thing I could have done.
Was there a car in front of you, like, or were you at the stoplight with no? Oh shit.
There was a car in front of me. There was like at least 10 cars in front of me, and then a bunch of cars behind that dude. He was just on his phone, not giving a fuck about anybody else around him.
On a motorcycle is so fucked because like. Luckily, you saw it coming, but I'm the same way, dude. When I'm in the fucking at a stoplight, I'm looking over my shoulder, because I know motherfuckers.
Well, I had a lot of buddies get into accidents over the years, and so, I mean, if you're gonna ride, you're gonna fall. It's kind of inevitable that something is going to happen. And I just know how easy it is to like lose track of what's around you while you're driving a cage. Like when I was a truck driver, like I saw all kind of crazy stuff like out there with just dumbass accidents. Like even on my way to work today, some fucking guy wasn't paying attention and nailed the fucking bridge that he was driving next to.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to, but it's tough. It's tough not to, like, I mean, not to look at that motherfucking thing, because it's up there. It's like, it's like front and center, but definitely like around here, you're pretty safe. You usually don't see a bunch of motorcycles out in February, but maybe that's what maybe it was in 40, it's -40 out, and he was just in shock. Maybe he wasn't even on his phone.
Is this like, is that a fucking motorcycle? No way. And but I don't know. Yeah, in his defense, I probably was the only motherfucker out there because it was like 20 degrees that day. And I was like, yep, going to fucking work, and bam.
Let's talk about Lost Souls Customz. How did that get started? What's the story behind that? And what do you do?
So ever since I had that mini bike and, restoring classic cars with my stepdad, like I've always had the dream of owning my own shop and kind of like getting to build whatever the fuck I wanted to build. And it literally took the world ending as we know it for me to get my shit together. And during COVID 2020, I legit had fucking $1,200 to my name of that government money. And, I said, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like the world's fucking fucked up. Like who knows? I could, get hit by another truck or get COVID or what the fuck ever. Time is limited. I have no idea how much I have left. And I want to go live my dream, and I'm going to do it with this little amount of money. So in Homestead, Pennsylvania, which is a couple miles up from where I'm at now, I got a small shop next to a pizza shop that was like $600 a month, and it was like small as fuck. I gave up my apartment. I moved in there. I had no clients, no nothing. All I had was like a couple tools, like basic shit, And yeah, I moved in there and I fucking, like started working social media and trying to fucking do everything that I could to motorcycles to build a better life. And like luckily things really, really took off really, really quickly. And the first year, like I was lining bikes up out that place out the back where I couldn't even fit all of them inside. So I had to get like tarps and stuff to keep these fucking bikes like covered out of the rain and shit. To fucking, keep up with like the amount of clients that I was, having bring bikes. Cause it like turns out I was really fucking good at what I wanted to do. And I did that at that shop for about 2 years. And then I was like, I need more space. I can't keep fucking going this way. It's only going to do me a disservice. So I moved like literally a block away, stayed there for 6 months. And then I got this 5,000 square foot building with another 3,000 square foot lot, which I rent. So I'm still on that grind. But I moved here, and this is year number 5 as of January 1st, and yeah, man, it's been an incredible journey. And you know, now I'm like an invited builder to places. I'm doing all these fucking shows this year. I'm an invited builder for Wild Stallion. I'll be at Party at the Pin, Glory Days. Um, you know what I mean? I'm making friends like all over the fucking country doing this podcast. It's amazing. Like, when you like really set yourself up for like, I'm not going to fail, and like what's come out of it, you know, like there was no other option, like it was like I succeed or die. That's what I set myself up.
Which party at the Pen? Is it the one in Ohio you're invited to? Oh fuck yeah, dude! I think me and Dan are going to that.
Me up, man. We'll fucking hang out because actually they got the Mohican Madness. There's a campground like a couple miles down the road from there. So if you guys want to link up, come hit up my campsite. We'll be having a good time.
Dan really wants to go to that. He wants to. Him and his boy, they're building a panhead, and I think they want to debut it at that show. But it's in June, right? Early June, and
this June 7th through the 8th. Shawshank, man.
That's the thing is like I really want to check out that prison. That's fucking awesome. I love. First of all, it's like one of the greatest movies ever made. But it's definitely one of my. It's so cool that they're doing it at Shawshank, and Ohio's close enough that we're probably going to be able to swing it. So I think we're going to get there.
That's this bike behind me right here. It's mostly done. I'm doing so this is a 1955 panhead, and like literally this motor is a 96 cubic inch S&S, custom flywheels, custom pistons, 11-to-1 compression ratio on a Kickstarter. So it's a pain in the dick to start, but once it's going, it's got some balls. So I wanted to build this bike for vintage drag racing and to be a show bike, but also to like showcase some of the parts that I make. Oh, actually, here I've got one right here. I make headlights that are the brightest thing you've ever seen in your fucking life, and they're only 2 inches across and 2 inches deep. They're awesome. I haven't posted them live yet, but they'll be on my website here shortly. I've got tail lights that are legit this fucking big, like 1.5 inches long by 1/2 inch, and they're bright as fuck. I make all the electronics, all the circuit boards, everything for those, and they're pretty user friendly. Just fucking give them 6 volts, give them 12 volts, they'll work.
What kind of so you're making parts, and you're also doing custom builds, and you also doing service? Like what kind of services do you offer?
Pretty much like in my head when I started this place, I wanted a one-stop shop. So anything and everything on 2 wheels, I do it all right here in house. I don't send out anything, except for powder coat, and I have a guy that does my upholstery for me exclusively. Um, but yeah, I do it all. I do custom paint, frames, motors. Like I've got a whole fucking machine shop in here. I've got a body section, you know, everything, anything and everything that you could possibly need on a motorcycle, you can get it done right here.
All makes and models. You'll do Jap bikes, American bikes, fucking new, old, whatever.
I'm more swaying towards classic American motorcycles, Harley Davidson repair, and just like choppers and bobbers and stuff. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm like so fucking busy, I need to be a little bit more selective. But if somebody locally needs some help with something, like most of the shops around here, they got a 10-year cutoff limit, and I'm not going to just abandon those people because they're bikers too. You know,
Just 2014, 2015. That's fucking new.
you just won't fucking touch them. Like even the fucking Harley dealers, they're like, "Oh yeah, we won't touch your fucking 2014 Harley." So,
Oh, dude, 2014. They won't touch 2014. That's nuts.
here's the thing, like my opinion on that is like I think it's just like all the old heads are getting out of the fucking game, and all these young kids that they're hiring just don't know how to fucking do it, or they have problems getting parts. But like I don't understand that part because I can get fucking parts from like 1920s without a fucking issue. So why can't you get parts for a fucking 2013 fucking Road Glide?
It's a good fucking thing though that they don't, because then it allows guys like you to have a shop and work on the shit that you want to work on, which is the older stuff. If they did everything, then you'd be out of a fucking job, because they'd be, oh yeah, we'll work on that.
But yeah, I guess I'm grateful for that. But I just thought it was silly.
Really, that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling fucking old, dude. But like 2014,
Honestly, man, that shit feels like it was like a week ago. I don't know. Like the older I get, I'm only 34 years old, but the older I get, like the early, like I don't know, the time just moves crazy for me. You know what I mean? Like it just passes like so fucking fast, and the older I get, the faster it fucking gets. And I don't know, I can't fucking keep up with it.
yeah, when you're a kid, you have summer, and you're like, this fucking summer's never gonna end. It's like a whole fucking year will go by in a blink of an eye, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck did I do? So you're doing, I guess you're making your own parts by hand and stuff. So what kind of, you have Bridgeport? What kind of equipment you running out of there?
So I got really into blacksmithing. So I have a forge, I have milling equipment, I have lathes, I have surface grinders, I have, most of what I have is like antique machinery because I firmly believe if I'm going to work on antique engines, I want to do it with the equipment that would have been, you know what I mean? It would have been worked on at that time. So like I've got boring bars for cylinders that are from like the 40s, from Quickway. My hone actually was a gift from GMS Racing, Greg Dahl, which is like the greatest machinist alive, in my opinion, as far as Harley Davidson, and a good friend of mine.
I mean, you're using shit from the 40s. They don't build shit like that anymore. You know, they don't build shit that's gonna last fucking,
Oh,
math in my head, like fucking 80 years.
yeah. I mean, this stuff is fucking like my, for example, my surface grinder came off of a fucking naval vessel from World War II, man. You know, so like not only is that thing a piece of history, but like it is still in use today, fully operational, absolutely fucking perfect. And every time I get to use it, like I get to imagine the shit that this thing could have seen, you know what I mean, over the years.
It's cool, like working on old bikes, working with old equipment. They all have that story, you know, like how many fucking people have worked on that with that tool from the 40s, or how many people have fucking ridden that bike, you know, or worked on that bike since 55. It's fucking insane. That's kind of the allure of it though, right? Like a nostalgia.
Yeah, I, I try to. I like to think of it while I'm using the equipment that I'm like channeling that energy out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Ghosts in the machine. So that painting in house too. So you're did you teach yourself how to
Yeah, yeah. So um, when I first started, I had no fucking idea how to fucking paint at all. But I called somebody up and I was like, "Hey, man, like, how much would it be to like paint this stuff?" And they were like, "Oh, 10 grand." And I'm like, "Holy fuck!" You know, like, like I gotta learn how to paint. So I did, and like, I fucking fucked everything up that I did. I made every single mistake that I ever could have fucking made, and but I learned from it really quickly because I had to.
anything you do on a motorcycle, you're gonna fuck it up time and time and time, especially if you're teaching yourself. And painting is one of those things that like, dude, it's so much different than the mechanical part of like building a motorcycle, or like the fabrication part. Some dudes aren't just like built that way where you can hone a cylinder, you can build a motor, and then you can also do the artistic shit like painting. Um, but yeah, dude, if you're building bikes, that's a big fucking paycheck, dude. Like those guys that like build like do the real nice paint jobs. You're talking, yeah, like you said, like do fucking 10 grand for a fucking paint job. It's like you can do it yourself. It takes the time, takes the patience, takes the learning, and all that bullshit. But definitely worth it to have that skill set.
I mean, I like to think I'm doing pretty good with like the stuff I know because I mean, I was like asking questions to people, you know, that I knew painted because I worked in a body shop for a little while, and like I was kind of just like absorbing as much knowledge as I could without knowing it. So mostly what I had a problem with was like compatible chemicals, you know, and I would spray something and then spray something else, and then it would like peel up or something. You know what I mean? And so I had to learn really quick what was able to go together and what wasn't.
Ain't cheap either, dude. Yeah, that's an expensive mistake.
Like when you've got, you know, 20 something hours into something and then you have to start over, it's like heartbreaking. Glory days. So I got to be at as an invited builder for this show in Detroit, Michigan called Wild Stallions Motorcycle Build. And so I was one of their selected people. So I'll be doing like a piece with Thunder Roads Magazine of Michigan, where for like 6 months they're going to be posting like what it is that I'm building for that show. And then so that's going to be pretty cool. And it's like a competition, like a people's choice thing. But I'm going to be building a. I don't want to reveal too much because I don't know if any of my competitors are going to listen to this, you know. But I'll be building a 1937 flathead.
Dude, flathead.
1937 was the first year of recirculated oil in a flathead. So, you know, right before that, 1936 was the first year knuckle, And I don't have fucking knucklehead money, so I found that thing, and I was like, hell yeah, it's gonna be a chopper now.
Yeah, dude, those knuckles are nuts. But 37, that's so fucking old. That's almost 100 years old by this point, right? I mean, like those years old or some shit.
Don't ask me to do math. It's old. Um,
Old shit.
Completely. Like when I got that thing, all I got was like a bottom end and some fucking cylinders. So like I had to find cams, heads, valves, everything. I had to find every single piece in it. And like along the way, like I knew I'm going to need a machine to do this. So I would buy the machine and then learn how to use the machine. And you know what I mean? Like when I got that motor, I had no intention of like ramping up my business, but I have an addiction to Facebook Marketplace, and I absolutely refuse to pay somebody else to do what I could learn.
When you approach something that you haven't maybe not been familiar with, like how do you do the research? Like, do you have like a mentor in your life, or have you had one, or is it all like independent learning?
Like most people go home and they turn on the TV and they fucking become a zombie. Every single day I go home and I turn on the TV or I open my phone or whatever the fuck it is and I study. I try and learn. If there's a topic that I'm even remotely interested in that I think could benefit me or my company or help push my family to live a better life, I'm going to absolutely obsess about that topic until on paper I know everything there is to know about it, and then I try and put it into practice with some Facebook Marketplace find or something.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like we were talking before we started recording. Like I just got a bunch of recording equipment. Dude, it's research is hard. Like even with the internet now, like I don't even know how. Like you'd have to have a mentor back in the day or someone to show you the ropes. But like nowadays, you just go online and it's just like, dude, fucking hours going down little rabbit holes trying to figure out how shit works, going on fucking dead forums and threads and shit, and then you finally figure it out. And in fact, I in tandem, I'm trying to figure out all this fucking shit about like how this audio shit works. Downstairs, I'm building a live edge table, and I'm like, oh well, how do you remove the bark? What kind of stain do you use? This is kind of wood it is. Like, what kind of legs do you use? Like, and that's yeah, same dude. I do not turn on the TV at night. Like, I don't sit down and watch fucking show, dude. Who has time for shows? Who's watching shows? Fucking bandwidth to just watch bullshit?
Like I'm really like recently I've like learned a lot about myself, especially from being sober. Like that I'm kind of ADD and I need to hyper focus on something constantly. And like once I understand something, then like it's like a whole new era of things open up. So it's just for me, it's just this constant fucking thing of like, let me learn everything there is to know about sandblasters. Let me learn everything about surface grinders or machining or fucking frame building or engine building or whatever the fuck. And like, I don't think I'd rather have it any other way because now I have such a greater understanding of what it is that I do. Like for example, like the way I love the way my brain works because when I'm like doing a repair, I think of it like I tell my apprentice, like you need to be a surgeon instead of a butcher. Some mechanics are butchers and some are surgeons. And like way back in the day, the guy I was working with taught me that saying, and it felt so cool to finally tell it to somebody else. But that's the way I think of it, like I'm doing fucking open heart surgery on a panhead, but I'm listening to a sound and in my brain, like I literally see like an exploded diagram of the engine and have parts move the way that they're supposed to move. And I'm like, Oh, that thing's got a bad fucking lifter, and sure as shit, I take it apart. There you go, bad lifter.
About if you had anybody working for you. So you have an apprentice. Is that how long have they been working with you for?
Been working with me since winter started, like before winter started, probably late fall. He's pretty new.
Shout him out. Who is he? How'd you meet him?
I don't know that if he wants to be included or not, but he just like I posted an ad like looking for help because like I have far outgrown the ability to do all this stuff by myself, and like a lot of people applied, but no one knew how to do fucking anything, and so I was like, fuck it, man. Like, I'll teach somebody everything there is to know about everything that I fucking know. But you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he showed up and here we are. Yeah, luckily he had some, why I decided to go with him because there were like so many people. I couldn't fucking keep up with how many people, but why I decided to go with him is he lives 5 minutes down the road from the shop, and he knows how to do some body prep work. So it kind of fucking it's like, oh, you can sand stuff, and I don't have to teach you that. Cool, you know.
But work fucking sucks.
So yeah, go do the bitch work, Dylan, and I'll teach you some other things.
Kids don't, or I say kids. I'm talking about like grown ass men too, but like you don't have that relationship anymore where there's like a mentor protege type of relationship where it's like you do some shit work, you grind, and then I'm going to give you invaluable information, and you can learn from me. Um, it just like it's one of those. I think most people that are into choppers or into that, like definitely into choppers, probably into motorcycles too, but they really value that, and it's a lost art, like taking someone under your wing and teaching them how to do stuff, and then in return you get you get help, but what they get out of it is so much more valuable than a dollar amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I like to look at it like nobody like I felt like I was such a piece of shit and like back in the day that like nobody gave a shit about me, so I had to fucking learn everything that I know now by myself. You know, and sure, I had help along the way where I learned one bit of info from this old guy or this old guy or whatever, you know. But there was nobody there to show me and take my hand and say this is the right way to do it. You know what I mean? But there's 10 different ways to skin this fish, you know, so you got to adapt this thing to you, you know. Um, and being a parent, I think of like Kung Fu Panda now, but, you know, where he's trying to teach all these other pandas how to be pandas or Kung Fu or whatever. Anyway.
He wanted an old dude to show me like old motorcycle shit. Never found one. I had to learn everything the hard way, but definitely like making friends and learning from people that like know paint or know welding or know this one thing that they can help you out with. Definitely helps to have that lifeline.
Yeah. And I feel very blessed to be in a position that I am now because I actually do have some friends, you know, where I can call them and say, hey, you know, like, what do you think about this problem and how would you solve it? And to have some sort of backup, it's pretty cool.
It's like the journey from starting a business to now, like how much did you learn about the business aspect? Like, were you prepared for that?
For when I started, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking build choppers and you know do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna go ride them whenever I feel like it. But the idea of it and the reality of it, it took a lot of personal growth and looking at like who I was as an individual and growing up from that idea. You know what I mean? Like um, the person I was when I started this compared to who I am now, completely different individual. But it's a fucking struggle, like constantly. It's hard, you know. Like you feel like you're gonna quit sometimes, and you know, like none of that ever goes away, but it does get easier to deal with. And like year 5 now, things are starting to be more clear. And because of that clarity, I think that's why I'm starting to see a lot more growth. But yeah, it's a crazy journey. It's definitely not for everybody. You know, you gotta have some fucking mental toughness for sure. Because like honestly, people will definitely 100% beat you down as much as possible. Um, and like the fact of the matter is like people want you to do well, but they don't want you to do better than they are.
When you first started coming up, like, did you have any partners? Did you have anybody that was like, you just you've been solo this whole time?
It's been me from fucking go. You know, like the only bit of real business information that I knew was don't partner. I mean, sure, that probably works for some people. Like my girlfriend has got a business partner in her thing, and it works well for her. But I don't think it would bode well for what I'm doing. You know, different ideals.
You get to run shit exactly how you want to run shit because you're the only person.
Yeah, and those times are what really define you as an individual. Like you get down to the core of your being when you know like if I don't get this project done, there might not be a business next month. You know, if I don't push myself today, I might not be able to keep doing what I love to do tomorrow. You know, and like it's crazy, man. Like so now I've like been trying to train my mind a lot for that kind of mentality, you know, where you know that do or die, you know what I mean? Like push to the fucking limit, find out where the limit is, and then push to even past that, you know, like you know, old Dragon Ball Z training kind of style, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking yeah, it's tough. I mean, it definitely takes a certain kind of person, and it's like you found your little niche, and like that's awesome that you're like doing well because there's so many people, and I'm sure you've seen them over the years. You know, like shop, especially nowadays, dude. Some motherfucker builds one Sportster, and then all of a sudden he's has a shop. You know what I mean? And it's tough to actually do it and do it full time and do it well. You know, so that's fucking awesome, dude. And the other thing I wanted to ask you too is like, where is where is the money in it? Like, is it in parts? Is it in service? Is it in the full builds? Like, where you get like what keeps your shop afloat?
Well, like the core of my shop has always been the people locally, you know, and their support, like with general repair. Um, but it really depends, like on like oh god, so many different factors. Like making parts for me is like really brand new, you know. So like making forward controls, making fucking springers, or making frames, making all that stuff's really brand new for me. So like I'm really still trying to kick that off and take the company in a different direction. Um, that I have been, you know, but right now it's general repair and you know, being a people pleaser.
Art stuff like you said you build springers and stuff. Are you doing this like commission? Like someone can reach out to me like, yo, I want this at this spec, and then you'll build it?
So what I would really like to do is have like stock parts that are custom, like my designs, like my twists, my my everything that somebody could buy off of a shelf. But if somebody wants something made and they're like, "Hey, I want a fucking 6 over fucking Springer with like like Rubik's cube twisting on the fucking down tubes or whatever," you know what I mean? I can make it happen for sure. So commission builds, stock parts, whatever you need, I can make it happen.
Cube shit is fucking wild. That's some blacksmith shit right there, though.
I'll have to show you some of the stuff that I'm capable of. It's pretty cool. So my personal favorite that I just started offering on my website is it's called Dragon Scale, and it's I don't know if you've ever seen it before. I'm not the creator of it. I just like it and do it. But I make Dragon Scale foot pegs, and it legit looks like a dragon's tail. You know what I mean? And I can do that in a square or a taper or whatever.
So you're still firing up the forge and shit. Like you'll do some heady blacksmith shit.
I've got a pretty hefty anvil. I mean, it's not as big as what I would like, but that's what she said. But I fucking love what I do, man. I love every part of it. I love painting. I love fucking hitting hot steel. I love welding. Like when I come up with something in my head, like I just gotta fucking do it. I can't stop it.
You do a little bit of everything, and like blacksmithing, that's its own thing. Like you need a huge skill set for that. Painting, huge skill set for that. Building old motors, huge skill for like, and you're putting them all together, and you're doing what you love to do, and that's fucking awesome, dude. And yeah, man, I really want to get out to. I really hope that we can pull it off and get out to fucking Shawshank and hang out. And in fact, I might be going to Glory Days too. I don't know. I got to get my my schedule together.
So if you want to talk about that for a second, Kurt is so fucking awesome. If you want to come to Glory Days, I'll definitely hook you up with him, and maybe do like a Lowlife podcast booth or something, or maybe get your bike in the show or whatever the fuck we can do. Because like Pittsburgh would absolutely love to have you. Josh is here. We got a lot of really cool people doing a lot of really cool things here, and yeah, come if you can make it. Fucking come.
I'd love to make it out there. I might get lynched because I keep on mixing up Pittsburgh and Philly, and I.
Yeah, don't do that. You got to go black and yellow or fucking get out. But yeah, it's a crazy town, man. There's a lot of fucking history here, and like you can't go a block and not fucking go back like 200 years. I think that's the coolest thing about the East Coast is just everything that fucking happened, over the years.
Of the fucking East Coast. I haven't spent as much time down there as I probably should have. I did have some family down there. I did spend a little time. They got weird liquor laws there.
So much better. So it used to be when I moved here or first came here, I got fucking weirded out because I went into a gas station looking for fucking Mickey's 40s, and I was like, where the fuck's all the alcohol, and someone's like, oh, you have to go to a beer store to buy a beer, and if you want liquor you have to go to a liquor store to get liquor. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like that's stupid. Rate it by like alcohol content, so like you can go to a gas station now. But here's the weird thing. If you're going to go and pick up like some alcohol from a gas station, you have to go to a very specific register to check out that alcohol because they can't, I don't know why, they can't like serve it at all of the registers. They can only serve it at one register. It's some like weird back assward law that's just like made it to 2025.
Like a politician came up with that. Like, dude. Yeah, I remember when I went down there, it was like to get beer, we had to go to the beer store, and then they didn't like sell 6-packs or 12-packs. You had to buy like a whole fucking pallet of it. Like you had to buy a lot of it. I was like, what's up with that?
Alcoholism is a problem here in Pittsburgh, so
You have to get 24. You can't get 6.
yeah, it's been a good town.
If someone wants to, let's shout them out. So, if someone wants to get a hold of you or someone wants to buy your parts, where can we find you?
So my Instagram is Lost Souls Customs .pgh. I just launched the website, which is just www.lostsoulscustoms.com, and it's customs with a Z at the end instead of an S, because I'm cool like that, I guess. But and then of course there's Facebook, Lost Souls Customs on Facebook, and yeah, you can always go on Google if you need to get a hold of me. Look up Lost Souls Customs. Call me directly. If you got any questions about anything, I'm more than happy to stop what I'm doing and talk to anybody for as long as I need to help them with whatever they need to do on their project. Even if I'm not making money off of it, I just like doing what's right for the chopper community.
Up first, we got Steve over at Deadbeat Customs. Steve's all about grassroots motorcycle riders. Take it upon themselves to build and customize their bike. They offer parts for all Harley-Davidson models and also offer custom parts for choppers, bobbers, trackers, and cafe racers. When it comes to building custom motorcycles, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com. Remember to enter code Lowlife at checkout to save some money. Next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Tyler and his team not only work hard to supply motorcycle enthusiasts with cool parts from small shops all around the world for over 20 years, but they also keep innovating and creating new parts and accessories, getting them out on the road. They are the #1 source for custom and chopper parts for your motorcycle. Go visit lowbrowcustoms.com. Next, we got Stay Strong Co. John Luke has been sent down from the heavens to bless us lowlifes with the greatest hot sauce on this mortal plane. Sweet heat baby Jesus in the white pants heralds a message from God himself. Don't put this on your butthole. It's for your mouth. The shits, and the hotter than hellfire lowlife chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Next, we got Oxford Co. Choppers. Chris, the original bad boy bumbaclot from Oxford, Connecticut. Frame restoration and repair, handlebars and hardtails, hard parts for hard men. His hardtails are TIG welded and installed in-house. Made from USA-made steel, he is your man for the hardest shit to hit the East Coast since Hurricane Bob. Find him on Instagram at oxfordco.choppers.
Definitely, like, are you? I'm surprised. Josh, he texted me and he was like, "Yeah, I'm hanging out with this dude, and his fucking shop is awesome. You should hit him up." And we weren't following you on IG. Are you big on Instagram or are you active there?
I'm trying to be really active, but I think I'm like just old school enough where technology just eludes me in just the right way. So it's been like a really hard uphill battle with Instagram specifically to maintain my relevance for one, constant posting, and just like keeping that platform afloat. My Facebook does really, really well in its algorithm. And I use my personal Facebook for advertising and that stuff as well. But Instagram's been really, really hard for me to like grow. And I really wanted to because a lot of people are fucking using it. But it's just really difficult for me to like master that specific platform, and remembering every single day to take a picture of, the whatever the fuck I did that day and post it. Um, but, you know, yeah, if you're listening to this, go fucking follow me on Instagram and you'll like what you see, I promise.
Lost Souls Customz with a Z. PGH is Pittsburgh.
So another cool thing, since we're talking about shout outs, is I'm personal friends with Tom Banks. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a Sons of Speed racer. He owns Banks Gas here in Pittsburgh, and really awesome guy. He restores like antique motorcycles as a hobby, and he owns Competition Distributing with Sean Jackson. So I hang out with him sometimes. And yesterday I was at his house and we were talking about Sons of Speed and how I really wanted to fucking race. So we talk about it for a while I was working on this 1934 Indian straight four, and at the end of it, he's like, "You know what, man? You get the bike together, and you're fucking in." So yeah, this year, if I can fucking get some kind of sponsors or something, and get something together, like I've got the fucking motor, but I can be a Sons of Speed racer this year if I could get some sponsors. So if anybody listening is interested in sponsoring me for a Sons of Speed race, or you got a business or something, and you're interested in that kind of thing, hit me up because I need some help to get this thing going. And it's going to be fucking awesome. Like I'll be racing the 45 hot class. So I'll be right there with Dale's Wheels Through Time, Billy Lane, and a bunch of really big names going down the circle track in Daytona and Tennessee.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Hey, Jay, it's been fucking awesome talking to you, dude. So glad that we got to meet. Thanks, Josh, for linking us up. Was there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to talk about?
God, we've covered so much, and no, I think that's it. Like, we really fucking checked all the boxes as far as I can tell.
Thanks again for coming on. Stick around. We're gonna talk after we shut this recording down. Roll the dice, get in trouble, have fun, and never stop chopping.